Hey everyone, happy Monday, December 22nd, 2025. All right, we're closing in on Christmas here. A couple more days left to get your shopping in. Hope you did. Great time of year. All right, so yesterday, check this out. Yesterday was the winter solstice. You guys see that, right? It's a day with the fewest hours of sunlight between sunrise and sunset. Why is that? Well, it's because it's caused by the Earth's axial tilt, right? So it tilts away from the sun. We know that it's the furthest from the sun on that tilt. And after this, the days are going to get longer in the northern hemisphere, shorter in the southern hemisphere. So, hey, should be fun. I don't know if you guys saw that. I was too busy watching some volleyball, but we'll get to that in a second. I want to give a rest in peace shout out to Betty Reed Susskind. Did you guys see that? She's the nation's oldest park ranger. She started working. I read she started working at 84. She retired at 100. She died at 104 yesterday. So I want to give a shout out to Betty Reed. Tell you, never too old for anything. Got to be drinking from the fountain of youth. Speaking of fountain of youth, everyone on this team, give a shout out to all the players, volleyball players at Texas A&M. All right, yesterday was the final. It was the finale. And let me tell you something. I talked about this team last week. They deserve to win the NCAA Division I National Championship. They beat Kentucky, was ranked number one. They beat Pittsburgh, was ranked number one. And they beat Nebraska. You guys know they beat Nebraska, was ranked number one. They beat three number one teams. So it was their destiny to win. They were a great team. I watched them play these 6 games, and let me tell you, they deserve to win. So kudos, all you ladies from the Texas A&M. Way to build the franchise there. So hopefully it's the first national championship, but first of many, we hope. All right, you guys see what's going on? What's going on with the movies this weekend? All right, I did not go see Avatar, Fire and Ash, but I want to give a shout out to my buddy John over there in Burbank, Liz. Hey, guys, John worked on Fire and Ash. He worked for Avatar. This is the third one. So they did $88 million over the weekend. It was the opening weekend. You know, it's a James Cameron film. The second film was a biblical animation. Do you guys see this movie, David? Did $22 million over the weekend. And The Housemaid, which I'm going to see tomorrow. Tomorrow, Tuesdays at Regal. I think it's like $7 tickets. So, hey, go see a movie tomorrow. It's Value Day. This should be really fun. Dark domestic mystery. Sydney Sweeney, Amanda Seyfried. You got Brandon Sklenar, Elizabeth Perkins, Michelle Morone. Oh, man, this is going to be good. I can't wait to watch this. The Housemaid, ranked third over the weekend, but I'm going to go see it. Tell you guys all about it. All right, what else? Let me tell you. This was a rough morning for me in the gym. Let me tell you, my back was really bad. Pain running down the leg. It was rough. So what do? What I did was I stretched and I meditated more. I was there for 30 minutes. I probably got my little workout in. But again, 15 minutes equals 1% of your life. You can do it. Get your 15 minutes in. What do we got? 10 more days left this year to give you 150 minutes. Let me tell you something. It's another 2.5 hours. Got to do it. No matter what you're feeling like, you got to do it. All right, let's do this. Speaking of got to do it, this is what we're going to talk about today. Should public school students wear uniforms? You guys know I know a lot about public school students. I taught them. We're going to give you a little reading from my book here because, I said, let me look into this. It's a mildly controversial topic. Should students be wearing uniforms? There's a lot of pros to it. There's a lot of cons to it. And I'll give you my opinion. Matter of fact, I wrote down 10 pros and I wrote down 5 cons. So you're thinking, well, wait a minute, Rich. You got 10 reasons why they should and 5 reasons why they shouldn't. It's like Nebraska 33-0 playing a team that's got 4 losses. Well, guess what? The team with 4 losses won. So just because you got 10 pros and 5 cons, let's see what happens. But let me give you the cons first because not only is this time of Christmas a time to rejoice, but it's a time to reflect, right? Especially these students. Now they're off. You should reflect on how did you do in the first semester. You You got one more coming up, especially those kids that are going to be graduating from public school. But since I do have a lot of experience with this, and let's talk about the pros before we get into the cons. And this is where the experts, I was an outsider looking in, which is oftentimes the best one. But sometimes, looking at from the outside is better than being on the inside. But the insiders say wearing uniforms will have a profound impact on the educational environment. And let me tell you, I'm going to agree with them on a lot of these, probably all of these. Number one, a pro to public school students wearing uniforms. It promotes equality and inclusivity. Well, that it does, right? If everybody kind of looks the same, it's kind of equal, everybody's included, right? Number two, reduces peer pressure and bullying. Now, this can result from someone who perhaps is homeless. I've taught kids that were homeless, and let me tell you, it's very unfortunate. They don't have the same. I mean, I saw a girl wearing these I make jokes about it. The Nike sneakers with these, I don't know what they're paying for these on the internet. You got a lot of kids that don't have the money to do so. So there's peer pressure and bullying for sure. Number three, it fosters school spirit, belonging, and unity. Well, that it does. When you're all together, it's like a volleyball team wearing the same uniform. It is a unified effort, it's a unified spirit, no doubt. Number four, it improves focus on academics. Again, this is what the experts say. How does it do that? I got a good look outside today, guys. It's kind of another cloudy 20-degree weather here in Indiana. Let me tell you, maybe that's what's going on with my body, not feeling the cold. But anyway, improves focus on academics. Yeah, probably. You're less focused on what it is you're wearing, and it's not a fashion show like it is on Instagram, wherever. How about this? Number five, enhances safety by making intruders easy to spot. Sure. I mean, intruders shouldn't be coming in anyway into the school, especially the schools I taught that have security. But it does. It makes it easier to spot the intruder. Number six, instills discipline and professionalism for future life skills. Yeah, I like that. Back in the day when I was working on Wall Street, I mean, I couldn't get away with this without wearing a tie. I had to wear a tie. But anyway, it does instill discipline and professionalism for future. It does. Number seven, it reduces gang influences by taking away the ability to wear colors or symbols. And no, I get that. It does. Number eight, it saves time. Kids don't have to choose their outfit. Well, let me tell you, these kids are wearing pajamas and Crocs to school, so I don't know how much time they're spending getting their outfits ready, but it does save time. Number nine, cost effective. Says it's cheaper for students, in the long run because you're wearing the same clothes. Well, who's going to be paying for those uniforms? We'll get to that in a second, but it could be cost effective. And number 10, maintains dignity amongst all students because, again, the students are properly dressed. They're not coming in wearing the pajamas or whatever they're looking at. But so those are your 10 pros to why public school students should wear uniforms. But let me give you a little reading here before we get into the cons. Let me get your reading from my book, and you guys know this, right? It's called The Tales of an Inner City Teacher. This is chapter 14, one of my best chapters of all. It says, if it ain't broke, fix it. And I talk about the ABCs of failure because I believe that these schools, at least the public schools where I taught inner city, are failing, right? There's the ABCs of failure. A is the poor mentorship of parents and guardians, without a doubt. B, which we're going to focus on, is the lack of the enforcement of identifiable rules and consequences. And C, an old school curriculum that uses a one-size-fits-all approach across different economic markets, that is to say, upper, middle, and lower income neighborhoods alike, which it does. It does use a one-size-fits-all approach. So to me, it's the curriculum that's not working. Well, anyway, let's get back to that. B, we said the lack of enforcement, identifiable rules, and consequences. So let me read you this. Further along, I talk about, in terms of brokenness, the lack of the enforceable and identifiable rules and consequences, right? And I talked about a one-page rules and consequences agreement that you should stick to. But let me read you this. Easier said than done, but it must be done. Unlike the time this principal in New Jersey gave every student a really nice, clear, see through backpack to use at her school. She spent 30 minutes on the intercom explaining why every student needed to use them. There also had been a recent knife incident at that school, and to help speed up the process of scanning every student through the metal detector, every student needed to use this new clear backpack. I mean, they were really nice, actually. Wish I had one. With an emphasis on needed. She also said if anyone, over the loudspeaker, if anyone came to school without it, they would be given another clear backpack to use for the day. A time consuming and cumbersome transfer from their bag to the borrowed one before and after school, but something that would be required. Emphasis on would. And something she personally guaranteed would happen. It's a principle over the loudspeaker for 30 minutes, guaranteed. Well, did she stick to her word and enforce the new rule? Not a chance. It was business as usual for these kids. Within a week, I never saw another clear backpack at that rather large high school again. Talk about wasting money. I would say the tune of $50,000. Right, that's $50 a bag. There was 1,000 students in that school. I even suggested to my students that they should start collecting all the new and discarded bags before someone else did and sell them on the internet for a hefty profit. I did say that. Then I said, then go blow it all on a vintage pair of Air Jordans worn by the legend himself or Kylie Jenner. I was joking about that, but it's the moral to the story. It's not enforced. There's no enforcement. There's no enforcement of the rules. Okay. So what's going to happen, right? Let me talk about the cons. These are the reasons why I think students should not wear uniforms. All right. The cons, students don't like them. They don't like them. They get to express their individuality. Number two, it promotes less creativity and limits self-empowerment, right? It really does because, hey, I knew kids that this one girl I'd talk about in that same chapter, this girl looked like she should be hired as a fashionista. She was so sharp, without a doubt. So it does limit and promote less creativity. What about this? Number three, it can be expensive, right? You got to buy these uniforms. You can't buy one shirt. Who's paying for it? Is the school paying for it? Is the parents paying for it? Parents don't want to pay for that. So now the school has to pay for that. Well, what happens if a kid doesn't wash his clothes? I mean, got all sorts of problems with uniforms if you don't have a supportive environment behind it. Number four, uniforms might be sexist. Well, they might, right? What does that mean? But they might be sexist. And number five, it says, leads to more policing of the students, right? That's it. Those are your five reasons. What I think the most important reason is it's not going to work. Uniforms, it's not going to work. It's like the clear bag. They're not going to do it. So then what do? Okay. You got 5 kids first day. The first 5 kids walk, yeah, sorry, mister, my clothes aren't clean. Couldn't wear the uniform. We say, okay. Well, then the next day there's going to be 50 kids. Next day, 200. What happens is the minute you have a breakdown of the system, it's not going to work. It doesn't work with these kids. You give those kids an inch, they take a mile, right? You guys heard that before. But hey, I love the concept. I think it would be a great concept. That's why private schools, I think, do it and are successful. Charter schools might be successful. Even with the younger kids, you might have a little more success. And I agree with all of the pros and the positive reasons why public school students should wear uniforms. But my opinion is it's not going to work. So don't do it. Don't even go down that road because then you're going to fail. And it's another one of these rules and consequences. Yeah, you set a rule with no consequences. Well, guess what? The kids are going to take advantage of you. They're going to walk all over you. So that was good. There you have it. Those are my thoughts on whether or not kids should be wearing uniforms. Again, love the concept. Love the unity. Love, hey, Texas A&M as a unit, as a team. They won it all. But don't think it's going to work. All right, guys, that's it. So I'm going to be checking out this movie. I'm going to be working out again tomorrow. You know, you got to keep going. What the heck? I'm up over 360 days already this year. How many days have you worked out? And if you're tuning in for the first time, Tola Talks, thanks for tuning in. And keep at it, guys. Go get your shopping in. And as always, get your workout in. Peace.